But when you see the kind of, he's a photographer. When you can even tell him, go to her and take photos. You go to her slowly and
But
bring you
there.
photos. Real nice photos, bro. Real nice photos. And you don't complain about nothing.
Thank you very much for listening to Imaginate once again. Thank you for choosing to grow, choosing to listen to meaningful conversations. Thank you for all the work that you're doing for yourself and for the future generations. Thank you. So this podcast is for people who are looking to learn more, grow, and inspire, and hopefully leave a legacy. So I promise to bring you guests that I believe have something to share, people that I respect, people that I think are doing a great job in expanding something bigger than them. And today I have a special guest. You know, every episode I say this, but today I have a special guest.
Yeah, today is real.
Yes, and I want everybody to clap for yourselves right now that you're going to listen to this conversation. And I hope you enjoy it as I'm going to enjoy it.
That's a great intro, bro.
Yeah.
That's a great intro.
Man, introduce yourself, man. Tell us who you are.
Oh, man. That's tough. Well, my name is Khalil Rahman, and on social media I go by 63. But my actually full name is Rizinde Mujahidu Khalil Rahman. That's what my dad called me. I was born in Nyamirambo. Got a Muslim Nyamirambo hip-hop. Also library-ish type of education because my dad was so heavy on go to school and stuff. But also going to school in Nyamirambo with all the hip-hop influence that was around back then.
Yeah.
With all the TV introduction. So I had to catch up on that too as well. So now I'm a graphic designer. I'm a graphic designer by profession. That's what I do as skills. But by experience, I came up to become a creative director and somehow of an executive for a creative agency called 63 Inc. We've also co-founded a hub, a multimedia hub, Kigali Multimedia Hub, which is like a place where we are trying to give back to the community and help artists grow in different ways. We got some fashion thing going on. We got some painting things going on.
In that creative hub?
Yeah. We got a podcast studio too, photography studio, and that's how our office is based too, 63. Yeah. So we got a few things going on here, but that's who I am. I like cartoons, bro. I like anime and music, hip hop. I love a lot of hip hop music.
There's one thing actually I wanted to ask you. I think you live like a rapper.
I live like a rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of hip hop influence in my life.
Yes, Kabisa, you're a hip hop guy.
I'm a hip hop guy. I love hip hop. It's an interesting culture, bro.
Yeah,
it's an interesting culture, and it has values, bro. You have actual values that make people men. You know, so a few things. They just.
What's the book? What's the other book? There's a book of Nipsey Hussle that always loved.
Nipsey dropped a book?
No. His favorite book. Teaches the values that a gangster should have and a rapper should have.
I'm not a gangster, but yeah, man. I'm also inspired by a lot of gangster those, like Pablo Escobar. Some of the way he was able to grow an empire through loyalty and actually empowering the community, like financially. That's very inspiring to me.
Building schools and stadiums.
Yeah. That's very inspiring to me. There was Scarface. He's a fictional character, but very inspiring too. A few Donald Trump. They're gonna take me somewhere to say Donald Trump is a gangster, but Donald Trump is a gangster for sure.
Donald Trump is like a man's man.
I'm glad you agree because a bunch of people don't.
I mean,
but he's different. He's a
different guy.
Disruptive.
So now let's jump into the conversation. the first question that I wanted to ask you was, you grew up in Nyamirambo.
Yeah.
And I know we just touched about it. It's inevitable to talk about you without talking about where you come from.
I always start by Nyamirambo for sure. Yeah.
So that's why actually, like, the first question I wanted to ask you is, how did growing up in Nyamirambo shape who you are? When you look back and you look at your influences and you look at your childhood and where you grew up from, what do you think Nyamirambo as a place and the people and the culture influenced you in?
Nyamirambo was like such an impactful place for me, right? Because, all the art influence I have, like all the inspiration of like my first art inspiration was through the taxi. We had a lot of taxis that were branded and they were super cool. And when you go in there, they had a lot of loud music. And when you go around, there used to be a bunch of graffitis. You remember back in the day, there was a guy named Jaclo. This guy, one day he woke up and he went around in Nyamirambo typing Jaclo in different type of ways. Yeah, and then people caught on it. And then they also started writing Jaclo for him. We would also write Jaclo somewhere, like Jaclo. So that artistic part of Nyamirambo is the part that even today when I'm creating is a part of, I try to tap in. But also Nyamirambo, when we grew up, today is nice, No, today everything is nice, With good leadership, everything is supposed to get better. But when we grew up in Nyamirambo, that's the 2000s, 2005, 2000, and until that's where I grew up my whole life, So it was a place of hardship as well, So like going to school, if you'd go to school, you wouldn't see like a family holding hands, going to pray. It's not like you would see a lot of positive inspirations, You would see somebody who's probably drunk, sleeping on the road, somebody who's beaten up or something. They would, like in a week, there would be a thing or two. I'm sure there was more than that. That's just the one that made impact on me, right? That would negative inspiration for me.
Yeah.
So like growing up, I didn't know what I want to be. I just knew what I didn't want to be.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to be the guy who gets drunk and sleep on the road. I don't want to be the guy who get beat up like this. So the negative inspiration of Nyamirambo pushed me to actually work hard and become somebody different from everything I'd seen around me.
Amen.
But now it's better, Now it's better because everything, like the society now, with the community now, the leadership we have, I think it has improved. It's not like it was in the 2000s,
Yeah.
Bro, 2000 Nyamirambo was, it was lit. That's what you can say. It was lit, bro. People who was there, from there, they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up in Kyiv.
Yeah.
So it's not
that
but
far.
we used to hear about Nyamirambo, like, it was like, it's like the most dangerous place that you could ever find yourself in.
It wasn't
because
even,
of our parents. The parents were like, Nyamirambo. Like, you feel like there's some street
it
level
wasn't
to
even
it.
so dangerous. It's
So
like,
when I got there, I was like, this is the coolest place ever. I lived. I lived in the. I was like, I should have grown up here. Or
it's not
been
like
here
it was
more
so
times.
dangerous anyways. There was no actual danger. Like, I never got beaten up growing up. Like on the street, somebody beat me up. Nobody ever stole from me. Yeah, it was like safe. But like the things you'd see around, it wasn't so inspiring, The community.
I don't think they were saying that because
it was a
of
developing.
violence.
I think it
They were
was.
saying it because of
But
drugs.
then in some parts of Nyamirambo, you could also get slicked.
Yeah.
But also we weren't hanging around in those parts a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, but there was a lot of negative inspirations, if I can call it, if I can say such a thing. But there was also another huge part that was so artistic about Nyamirambo.
Yeah.
Even with the food.
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
The food is amazing. The culture is amazing.
No, back then creativity was in everything. Bro, there used to be shops, right? Where they would sell ichinono, right? So you come, you take ichinono, you go, you make your soup, you bring back ichinono, they sell it to somebody else and so on. No cap, bro. Like the life around Nyamirambo, because of hardship and luckship, it was so creative, bro. Everybody was into like finding creative solutions. So not only there was like graffitis and the art and the music. You know, we grew up in the era of bad boys. There was good guys. There was like dancing crews before the dancing crews. So all these inspiration, the creativity, the solution finding that was going around in Nyamirambo just with the exactly what I didn't want to be. So like, yeah, maybe this is the side that should happen as well. So starting to play with graffitis, text around, that's how I ended up here, you know. So
now you're talking about graffiti influence, and I'm thinking about your profile picture with it's a graffiti stroke.
It's a scribble. I'll just be playing around with drawings.
Yeah, the graffiti really did something to you.
There is you can see. Even when I started making logos, bro, I have pictures of logos I was making in like 2014. Then 2008, 2010. But they weren't logos. I would just take my name, write it in so many different ways. And play around. That could actually be a logo or somebody's name. I would just play around with scribbling. So that's where it came from, because I'm a scribbler. People ask me, what do you do? I'm like, I doodle. Like, for real, that's what I do.
Because among all the things you do, you always start with a graphic designer.
Yeah, man.
So there's graffiti, there's graphic, there's what? Yeah. So you see, I feel like graphics really empowered your creativity in a way.
I love graphic design, bro. I love graphic design. It's an interesting science. It's an interesting science of study of human, right? Because like when you're doing a graphic, you're not thinking about like beauty, or that's also a part of a graphic, right? But that's like 10%. But then you are thinking about how does the other person perceive it, right? So now we get a lot of different clients, right? Like yogurt, petrol, bank, tech, different types of clients. So now the audience changes. So every client is a challenge to me to study a different demographic. What colors do people who want to buy fuel like? What kind of shape do people who want to buy ice cream like? So it takes me into a deeper science of learning people. More than like people would think, no, you just bring fonts and shapes and colors. Like, but it's deeper than that, because it's more about how does the audience see this, right? So if you have a product, for example, you have like a podcast and you want to create a logo for the podcast, like, who is this podcast targeting? 20 to 30-year-old business people, artistic, and then you're like, okay, so how do these guys see things? How do they see things? How do they think? Because like, for example, if you're going to design things for me, you got to make sure it's readable quickly. And if you can put an emoji and it means everything, just put an emoji and go. You know, so if you think as me, as your audience, you have to study me. So it pushes me to study people. Every day I'm studying new people, new demographic. And then because of like interesting clients, then you get to study every kind of stuff.
And that's like, I feel like that's the best position for a creative to be in.
Yeah, that's why I like graphic design, you know, because like everything, if you ask me, everything is graphic design. If you look at the street, the plate number, the everything we're wearing, the fonts, the colors, the mixing is like, graphic design is such a deeper study than just a flyer. So that's why I always say that my most basic skills is graphic design, because I've also done like a crazy research on graphic design, and I'm still doing so. Say since 2017, I decided to like, okay, I was doing even so graphic design and other stuff, but like 2015, 2017, that's when I knew this is what I'm gonna do, right? So I started by unfollowing a lot of people and only focusing on people who can actually feed me in that direction. And everything I was consuming would only feed me in terms of like graphic design. And that's how I discovered how deep of a science it is. Because I thought I was going in one thing. I was like mastering graphic design. But then I discovered that it's more than just graphic. It's psychology. You need to study people, need to go deeper into people and then understand them. So then you think you are niching, but it pushes you outside in another bigger scale of like, this is everything you have to do.
You know the craziest part?
Yeah.
it sounds like you're talking about photography for me.
I think it's everything, bro. Like anything creative. I think even the
Yes.
musician can relate.
Yeah,
Even the
musician
fashion
right
designers
now.
can relate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think every piece of every sector in creativity, when you are to create, I think even engineers can relate. Everybody can relate, because when you are creating a product for people, you need to study who they are, right? You can just something. Yeah, you need to understand people. So the more you excel in that, the more you excel in delivering a product for such an audience. Yeah. That's why I like graphic design, really.
Yeah, no, but there's also something I'm noticing in the way you're talking.
Yeah.
You're creating for the public.
Yeah.
Do you create for the public?
Yeah, I create for the audience because I'm a graphic designer.
Yeah.
I have other projects where we are like creating for art, like it's artistic projects where I'll create for me, right? But when it comes to graphic design, I'm creating for the audience. You know, I even have a problem with my clients, because my clients will say, I don't like this shape. And I'm like, it's not for you. It's for your clients, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're designing for your petrol station, we are not designing what you like, because you already like it. Yeah, it's your product. You should like it. Yeah, we're designing for somebody else to come and like it.
Yeah.
So graphic design is always about the audience. That's the worst part about it.
Yeah.
It's never about you.
Yeah.
It's about like who
is gonna see it.
Who's gonna see it?
And is it gonna communicate what you?
Am I gonna get their attention? That's the first thing I'm looking for.
Attention.
Can I get your attention to this logo? I don't care if you look at the product, or I just want you to be interested in, for example, if it's I&M Bank, just want you to be interested in I&M Bank. I want to create curiosity in your mind about I&M Bank. Like that, if you are curious, because like if it's a billboard, you don't have a lot of time to grasp it in. But if I make you curious about I&M Bank, I trust you're smart enough to go Google it and check out what was that. Or if I make you curious about I&M on the previous billboard, and I know there is another one in front, I know for sure, because I got your curiosity, on the next one you're going to pay attention, like, hey, what is I&M saying?
So now I want to know, what are some of your earliest memories that influenced the person you are today? And are there any specific moments that stand out?
Yeah, a bunch of them, man. My dad was super playful with us, you know. Like, he was very serious about school and stuff, but he was also super playful. So we'd always be playing around. So that, like, he was our dad, but he could still come play in the ground with us, run around with us. So that is one of the parts that still inspires me today to guard the childhood in me, right? I mean, you need to grow in certain conditions, but you also need to stay a child at every moment. Yeah. So, like, my dad also influenced a lot of who I am today. I keep talking about my dad, you notice. Yeah. Because he made a lot of impact in my life in terms of, like, he made sure I was reading the right books somehow, watching the right cartoons. Somehow, somewhere, he would always put me in position to actually know things beyond school. But he would also be very serious about school. He was exposing you. Yeah. He was also very serious about school. That's one. And I remember a few moments with my brother Malik. He has also influenced who I am, as even till today. He's still my partner today. We're doing a lot of things together. He's a guy who's shaped me. He's really shaped me. Like, he's done his best to put me in the right direction, in the right guidances. So one of the moments that I remember the most is one time there used to be a computer, one big ass old computer, like, you know, with the big screens, white, and you know, this is like 2007 maybe, 2008. So he would go, it was in my dad's office, so he would go there and click stuff. But every time I would go, he would like, no, I'm working, don't come. My dad would be working. So one time Malik called me on the PC. That's a memory. I don't even know if he remembers that. He called me and I was sitting around and I saw him moving stuff. And that was crazy. And then he went to school, in boarding school. And he came back with the laptop and Photoshop. Back then he had made himself, you know Masari? He's an old artist. He had cut himself and put beside Masari in Photoshop, beside Lil Wayne, beside Justin Timberlake. And I was like, nah, I gotta check this thing out. So that's how I actually started playing around with graphics. And But an earlier memory before that, So I started drawing. Maybe I've been drawing before, but my earliest memory of drawing was my boy. Andy Ahunu?
Yes.
Andy Ahunu, you know him?
Yes.
Shout out to my boy, bro, because he's made a lot of impact. He doesn't even know.
Yeah.
So he had a cousin who had the manga book, a manga about Dragon Ball.
Yes.
And this cousin was coming from some country, I don't remember where.
Yeah.
And he had like 5-6 weeks until he traveled back home.
Yeah.
And he was going to travel back with the book. And I didn't have enough money to actually copy the whole book, and I wanted to keep it.
Yeah.
So I redrew the whole book. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I remember drawing the whole book, rushing. That was my first time focusing on an art project. That's the first one I remember, at least.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to focus on it, make sure it's finished. I was in like P5?
Yeah.
P5 or P4. Yes, that's my earliest memory of me. But since then, I've been trying to draw. Everyone who knows me since high school or primary school, they knew I was doing something, drawing around.
What? Now I feel like your father and your brother really are the people that you look up to.
Yeah, man. Also my sisters too. I think I had a nice, not really nice like that, but I had a really good upgrowing with my family, We were playing around. We had a lot of influence to each other. So my sisters, like I have a sister who can cook really well. She can cook for 1,000 people, bro. She can.
What?
Yeah, that's a skill, right? 1,000 is an exaggeration, but she can cook for like 100 people.
Oh,
bro.
what?
Like, for real.
From 1,000 to 100?
Yeah,
bro,
so
please.
1,000 heels. Yeah.
Nah, those are
No, but she
100
can cook
heels.
for a lot of people and make good food, and that's creative.
Yeah.
And my sister who passed, she was also a poet. Not really a poet, she was a creative. She would just flow with everything. So there was a lot of influence. But also I hear my grandpa used to be creative.
That you see that as poetry. That's good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My grandpa also apparently he was doing murals like Mata Fantabikonje, doing signs. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I heard. No confirmation of the news though. Grandpa's been saying,
Yeah.
So he was making signs, street signs. That's technically graphic design, bro.
Man, you are equipped to do what you have to do.
I think so, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think I'm one of the people who, like, even throughout growing up, I would always end up in position where I was learning about art, Like in school, in primary school, teachers, if they wanted to draw something complicated on the board, they would come and they would take me to draw while other students are in class. I would go draw in another class, be drawing all day. Drawing mchiko, the heart, the brain, the drawings in school, drawing that. So I've always been in this position to do something creatively. And growing up, even in high school, I would always get in trouble for like drawing in small, in my notebooks. I once got in super trouble when they sent me home when I had drawn in my chemistry book. All of it was full of drawings. So I ended up in trouble. Growing up also, because my brother Malik, he was also in the creative industry. He was working with these guys, Mr. Draw. I remembered designing some stuff for Mr. Draw back in like 2009, 2010. I didn't even remember.
Wow.
Malik, Dolph Wanza?
Yes.
Malik introduced me to Dolph Wanza when I was a child, bro.
Oh my goodness.
That was like 2011. Dave photography. Yeah.
Man,
Dave, I used to be Dave's
guys.
intern, bro. He used to take me
Oh my
around,
goodness.
take picture with him at BK.
Those are the big brothers.
Yeah. Like in 2012, I was taking pictures at BK with Dave. I was assisting him. He was teaching me how to take pictures. I've met Cedric Kajimba. He was a big graphic designer, even still today. I met him in like 2000 and what. And he was showing me stuff. Even my first portfolio, he helped me put it out together. Like, see, and he put some of his few artworks in my portfolio. I was trying to get a job from this lady who was doing children books. I was straight out of high school. I didn't have enough material for my portfolio.
Yeah, like, bro, hook
So
me up with some.
Kajimbani came, He fixed up with the portfolio. He put his artwork.
Hey,
and
man,
then
he's a good graphic designer.
He's a good graphic designer. And then he puts the wedding invitation of this lady. But he knew that was the lady. But she said, I know this. I'm like, yeah, we did this at Kalawos. And she believed it. She gave me a job. So Kajimbani also been a great impact too.
Oh my God,
growing up. So yeah, man, I've been in positions, always been in position to do this. Even after high school, even after Rwanda. After high school, I worked in a creative agency called All Wonders. After that, I went to school in Turkey. After Turkey, I went to Kazakhstan, but in the between, I was going around Asia, in a few countries, and all these places I was doing graphic design. I was doing graphic design in Turkey. I was dropping some merchandise back then, and I was being active, bro.
That's good, bro. Like now, how did you monetize that? Because you turned it into a business.
That was
a lot of people
bro.
have a skill, have a gift. How did you do that?
That wasn't me, bro. That wasn't me. That's my brother Malik who did it. Yeah. Because me, I know nothing about business. Even till today, I'm still wasting money, Like, I get excited. I'm a creative, I get excited over stuff. Whether it's even my personal stuff, like buying stupid stuff. When we get an opportunity to create an advert, I'm like, now we're gonna blow, we're gonna do this and do that, which is something that can be done probably on a lesser,
small budget.
Yeah, so
you get excited.
I can tell you how Malik did it.
Yeah,
I can tell you how Malik did it, but I didn't do it. Really.
How did he do it?
Well,
okay, the reason why I'm asking is
Yeah.
there's a lot of creatives who are broke.
Yeah, I know. I was even talking about it on the panel at LAU. And they said how they also asked me the same question. So apparently people think I did the business, but it's not me, bro. Me, I just do the creative. Malik does all the businesses. He's the one following up the numbers. He's the one making sure the clients are happy, getting all this like business stuff. He's the one who does it. Me, I'm just at the studio back with the creative. Just like, okay, we need this campaign. This is the timeline you have. This is what I'm supposed to do. And then we get to work. So the business, it's not really me. I cannot take credit for it. But I think for him is that he's really good with relationships and good with numbers too. He's a good forecaster. He knows where to put his nose and where not to. Yeah. And
growing up, I always wanted a big brother.
Yeah.
How does it feel to have a big brother?
It feels safe, man.
Yeah?
It feels safe because you can always up. Yeah, you can always up and
and you did your fair share of that.
I still got a few more coming, bro.
Oh my God.
I'm not done yet,
oh
bro.
my goodness.
I'm not done.
Do you feel like you have control over that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, if I wanted to be careful, I would be careful. But then, if I was to be careful, I wouldn't learn anything. I wouldn't achieve anything. I would just stay constant in one position. So I let myself go anytime, sometimes with logic, sometimes without logic, and then learn from it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
that's
dope.
because
that's
again,
dope.
Yeah, when you have a good brother, a big brother to clean up the mess.
You're like, okay, I just did this.
Yeah, like,
talk to my bro.
Listen, I talk to people and then I call him like, I just said this. Just in case he comes to you.
Oh my goodness. Now I feel like I have to invite him.
Yeah.
And
oh, bro, you should invite him on the panel, bro.
And he tells me his side.
Yeah, no, but he has so much to share, bro. He has so much to share. Even all these influences, the creative influences I've had, he's always been behind me to guide them, Yeah, so back to your business question. Bro, me, I'm at business. I wonder why people think I'm a good businessman.
Yeah, because you buy cars,
man, that's a fucking bad decision, bro. That should be a proof that I'm not a good businessman.
No. You made it. You monetized it, and you made money from your creativity.
Nah, bro. They just monetized it, and I'm like, hey, can I buy a car?
That's amazing, bro. I feel like
it's stupid.
I mean, let me tell you, bro. Like having that freedom where you're like, I'm going to create and not worry about the business side because I have a big brother.
But that's what I was talking about on the panel at LAU. As a creative, you need to, and it comes back again to graphic design or as when you're doing psychology, right? You need to study self, right? You need who is the audience of your future. It's obviously me, right? I'm the audience for my future. I'm doing it for me, right? So for me to actually achieve that, I have to study myself, right? Understand I'm a good graphic designer. I don't know anything about videos, so I have to ask Olaf. is this possible? How
Yeah,
doable
yeah,
is
yeah,
this?
yeah.
I know I'm probably a good creative director, but I'm not a good. I know nothing about anything, accounting and all
Yes.
this stuff. I know nothing about it. A few things just to, the basic, but no deep stuff. So I focused. I understood. I niched on
Yeah.
what I am. Like, this is what I can do. And I think that's what creative need to focus on. You need to understand, this is who I am. I'm a creative. Or somebody else who is... I see a lot of businessmen who are trying to make music, who are trying to rap. And I talk to them. Bro,
Businessmen who want to
yeah,
rap.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they, what do you tell them?
Stop rapping. Make sure that guy who can rap better than you is the one rapping. Make sure the business, make sure he's attending. Follow him up, Because not all of us can be artists, There is no brand bigger than Burna Boy or say per se in East Africa. You cannot name any brand that's bigger than Diamond Platinums, right? So that should be a proof itself that creativity is like our biggest export right now. So like, I think everything around our economy should be tailored to make sure that we sustain that. Because if that's our biggest export, and Diamond is from like a small village, he didn't require no investment to become Diamond. At a certain level he became Diamond, but he was also making the investment. You know how music works, right?
Yeah.
By the time you need the investment, it's because you're already making investment.
Yeah.
So
you invest first.
You invest, you get slowly. If you are a small artist, you don't need too much investment, right? If you are a bigger artist, that's when you need big investment. That's when you're doing like bigger shows. You're doing videos on a better quality, and you need like fashion and all this kind of stuff on that scale. But you don't get on that scale before you get big. You only see it often in Rwanda, where some artists try to be on that scale, but they are not yet there in terms of revenues. But like on the proper market, you need to spend like that when you're already making as much.
Yes,
right?
More than that.
Yeah.
Actually.
So if we focus on like really maintaining creativity as a product you're exporting and making sure but our government has been doing really good at it. It's just like anything else, we need more efforts in that, and everybody else, like especially the creative, to know.
Yeah.
Because I think the government knows, right? It's just the creative that most of creatives don't really know how important we are, right?
Yeah.
They don't, because like, what are we exporting the most right now in Rwanda? It's events, right? Events and hospitality. Who's like, when there is an event, 90% of the people involved, they are like creative technicians. They are videographers, photographers, set designers, illustrators, dancers, musicians, band artists, fashion designers, all kinds, bro. All kinds. And so imagine if all these people were consolidated in an actual economy, and they all had like, because now they just call you, hey, Kariru, or they'll just call people. I don't know how it works, but there's no actual consolidated creative, I don't know, how can we call it, creative corporate, where we all meet and we set standard, we set prices, we have legalities that follow up. Because like, probably these dancing kids, some of the dancing kids, they get ripped off. Some of the bands, they don't, you know how it goes, bro. You know
even
how it goes.
Taxes, even other things that are involved.
I don't think they get to do that because they don't get, I don't know.
To make a good income.
I don't know how it goes, man. But if we're consolidated, if we're consolidated in a group of like creatives, and we have like an actual creative group where we all meet, like consolidate creative, whatever Rwanda, that we can all meet. We discuss about the prices, like how do you charge a music video? How does photography work? How do you charge per hour? Because I'm a beginner, maybe we train each other. We know, we set. You see, there is everyone who imports fuel. They have a consolidate, and they meet. Everyone who brings in rice. You had there was a scandal of rice, like some rice sellers got together and they did some stuff, and I don't know how that ended. But imagine rice sellers are getting together and videographers and photographers, we can't.
Yeah.
That's there
We
is
need
a
to realize
consolidate,
it.
bro. I saw somewhere in. So where was it? I think it's in Bugesera. I read somewhere koperative y'abagore bacuruza ibirayi. They're like, what? Even these women could get together, but we can't. Bugesera ibirayi. Imagine ibirayi muri Bugesera. They have a cooperative specifically for women, bro. Specifically for women. It's not even like, imagine. There must be like a bigger cooperative for like all of them. But these ones are like specifically for women. Now these women, they got together, they want to fix, I don't know what they do, probably arrange prices, know where to move their product, move their product better together. I don't know, man. But there's no such thing. You do your own thing on the side. We have been friends for like the longest time, but we still haven't, like, you know, all of us here, you know, so we need to meet, bro.
Is that what you're hoping to achieve with the multimedia hub?
I don't think I will achieve that. That's gonna come in the future, man. That's gonna come in the future.
It also takes collective effort. It's not just one person.
Effort. Somebody gotta start talking about it. Just saying talking like this until everybody understands, and then it's gonna happen. Yeah. But it would be nice to have, man.
It would be great. It would be great to have. So, even just for inspiring each other. And also like knowing how to invest. Yeah. So as creatives, if we get together and then set our prices, that's how everybody else is gonna understand that we are like a big product to export, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So now moving on to the next question. Yeah. Many creatives struggle with mental health and also juggling multiple projects. Yeah. How do you make sure that you keep a good mindset, a good healthy mental health?
I don't, bro. I don't have a good, healthy mental health. My brain is shattered, bro. It's in shambles as we speak. My mental health is not at its best where it's supposed to be. But I don't let it get in my way to work, bro. Yeah. When it's time to work, I put all the nye aside. And I just know when... Thanks God, at least I'm still probably I'm too crazy, you know. I'm still at a level I can post things and I'll deal with it at a certain time. But if I told you I know how to keep a healthy mental state, I would be lying to you. Actually, everybody born in 19-something until 1998, if they tell you they have a healthy mental, they'll be lying. You know they'll be lying, bro. In this country, they'll be lying, bro. In this country, in this economy, they'll be lying, bro. They'll be lying. But I do my best. Not to let my mental health distract me from achieving work that I have to do. And I try to look forward the best thing that's coming. Yeah. Because I think my mental instability is caused by things I've been through in the past, right? So when I try to focus to the good thing that's coming in the future, it helps me. It clears the day. It clears the day a bit. So that's what keeps me going. Just knowing that there's good things that coming, and I've seen some of the good things come, and I'm sure more are coming. Yeah. So the testament that I have that good things are coming for me, it keeps me sane a little bit. Tumani rukanga. But if I tell you that I keep a healthy mental, I'll be lying, bro. I'll be lying. I'm shattered. My brain is water.
Are you always working, or do you have time?
No. I take a lot of time to hang with my girlfriend.
Oh, you have a girlfriend? I had no idea.
I take a lot of time to rest personally, just being some. I take a lot of time to think, you know. Yeah. Just
relax, do nothing.
I can't be doing nothing with my brain, bro. My brain never rests until I sleep. But then I take time for that too, to make my brain run, you know, just run. run crazy. Think about how monkey talks, how do giraffes clean their ass, crazy stuff that like just let my mind do whatever it does. Yeah, so it's important. It's important. So everybody have to find something, and some people need therapy. I probably need therapy too.
You probably do.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Everybody does.
Yeah.
And other people need different stuff, and so everybody have to. Again, it comes back to what I was talking about. You need to be self-aware and understand what you need, and yeah.
That's great, man. How was your time in Turkey and Kazakhstan?
Oh man!
First of all, Kazakhstan. That's
what that
very
is?
Interesting. It sounds like it's in Russia.
Yeah, it's close to Russia and China and Afghanistan and Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. It's a big country.
Oh my gosh!
It's interesting,
How
bro.
did you find yourself there?
Crazy story, bro. You wanna hear this story?
Yes.
Damn, bro, it's a long story, bro. So I was studying in Turkey on a scholarship, and then, man, I don't know, man. Something happened in the country. There was like a coup. People tried to take over the government, and then the president went live and he said, "Guys, these people are trying to take the country. You guys should just go in the street and protest."
Wow.
And say, you don't want it, you want your old government. And people are like, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And they did it.
Yeah.
So the government took back power. But when they got back power, allegedly, yeah, because so there's so many narrative. And, I can't be involved in foreign politics. It was none of my businesses, really. So allegedly, the people who were, I was on a scholarship of a certain group of a consolidant of like Muslims, and they had even businesses here in Rwanda. They had businesses all over the world, really. So apparently these people, they are the one who tried to overtake.
Oh, wow.
So the university I was going to was actually sponsored by these guys.
Oh, wow.
The whole university was theirs. They had to close it down, bro. We had to go take our papers and stuff in the next university that was government owned.
Wow.
But they had to transfer those papers there so they can make sure. So they closed our university. They took a lot of people in jail. They closed our university. So bye-bye scholarship. And there was nobody to cry to.
Yeah.
And Turkey was very expensive. But I had friends who was going to Kazakhstan, like who was living in Kazakhstan. They kept telling me about Almaty. Almaty is a nice city. You can live there nicely and stuff. And then these people who was giving me, who gave me a scholarship, they told me, there is another school we have somewhere that we can get you in. Like, where? So they gave me a choice between Lagos and Kazakhstan.
Lagos?
Yeah.
Nigeria.
And Kazakhstan. So I had to choose Kazakhstan. But I knew what the fuck was waiting for me there, bro. Like,
how did you find it?
It was cold, obviously, bro, because it's in the north, up there, North Asia, close to Russia. Obviously, it gotta be cold. But it's also interesting, bro. You know, they speak Russian. So I had to learn my way around the Russian. And something you don't think as a graphic designer, or we don't think a lot as artists, is that, we have an alphabet, A, B, C, D, which is regularly in fonts. Now, the Russian has a different alphabet. So when you are designing Russian stuff, it's actually a different alphabet.
Wow.
Yeah, and their alphabet has what, 46 or probably 52. I can't remember well between the two numbers.
So you have to learn that.
Yeah. People can just check their ChatGPT and ask how many. But it's a lot. It's more than what we have. It's more than 40 actually. So I had to learn all these alphabets. And when you're a graphic designer, your understanding of font and letter is important to ensure your work.
Yeah.
So when I got there,
how big they are,
the word, what it means.
Yes. Yeah.
So when I got there, I was challenged to learn a new alphabet, so I can keep delivering smoothly.
Yeah. So even there, you had a business of graphic design.
I had a job. I was working. Yeah, I was working. I was in a university, and then in university, I met this guy who had an agency, and he took me in. He had like a tech agency. He took me in. Shout out to Armat Kurmashev. He also had his brother, unfortunately he passed away. Yeah, his name was rest in peace, Miruz Kurmashev. So these guys, they had an agency, tech agency. So I was working for them for like 2 years, from like 2016 and no, not for like 2015 maybe. I mean, I keep missing the years, but 2 years. I know it was a year and some. And then I left there and went to work for another guy. His name is Baby Talibekov. He's actually a big guy now, man. This guy has like 1 million followers. He's doing deals with Ferrari and stuff. He's a big guy. He's a big guy. I actually learned a lot. I took some of his swag. I'll show you when the pod ends. Yeah. I took some of his swag. I'll show you. Yeah. Shout out to Baby Talibekov, man. He was an angry boss, but he was a cool boss.
How do you think you are as a boss?
I'm a shit boss, bro. I'm a shit boss. Not gonna lie. I am learning, you know. There is few people here in Rwanda at 30 who has the responsibility that I have in their days, right?
Yeah.
There is few people who have to deal with running a creative agency, probably not on the business side, but the creative side, and making sure the hub is operating. So all these people looking out for me. And 30 years old is not so old, bro. Yeah. Especially a 30-year-old depressed bro.
Yeah. So he's running the business.
Yeah. So sometime they meet me in my not cool situation. And that's not a good position to meet me. Yeah. Yeah, so most times.
Most times? No, it's not sometimes now.
But I'm learning, bro. If I'm learning, I think one of, like I told you, like the best thing I look forward is like it's getting better, you know. Because I remember how it was now a year ago. It was worse than today. I get better by learning how to collaborate with the team to actually get the work that you want them to do done. Yeah.
So what inspired you to start an agency, and what kind of mindsets did you have to shift for you to run an agency?
Bro, it's not like it's something that started in a day. You know me from the longest time. We've been doing work and doing creative work around. So 2019, that's when all the traveling, Kazakhstan, Turkey, that's when it finished, and all the Asian places I visited. I came back around 2019. I came back 27th December 2019. That's I landed at like around 5, 6. Yeah, the sun was going down. Yeah, that's when I came back to the country. So I got a job in a company. I won't even mention them. I don't want to promote them.
Okay.
But it's a big corporate. I got a company in this big corporate, and then I was a creative. The job was UX engineer, but then because I was the only guy who understand graphics, videos, and stuff, I ended up doing like marketing for them, and we're doing like, you know how it goes, man. When you are working for a company here in Rwanda, it's never about
the
your
job
skills.
description.
Job description, bro. We do what we gotta do to make the things happen. Yeah. So I was also participating, doing things I got to do. But as I was doing that, I still also had people asking me to do things for them.
On the side.
Yeah, on the side. I started doing it and eventually registered the company small. Then started getting good gigs. It became serious. So over time, even my brother joined, and then it got bigger. It just started blowing. So it's not like something I was seated down and thought about, like, okay, gonna start a creative agency. But one thing that actually made it stand out is that all this time, even till today, I fight to make sure that there is something different that we are doing. Like, what's new? What's gonna blow people's mind? Like, what's the new creative touch we can add on this project so that it can go further? So with that, I think that's what always pushed me to actually have a creative agency, was the pushing the marketing, the way things were done here.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, if you are familiar with our work, man, if you're familiar with our work, you can see that that's what everybody else is trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of like graphic design, I can see everybody copying. Not really copying, but they're updating their work using our work as references.
But that's actually the goal. The goal
That's
is to
the goal.
inspire.
Yeah. That's exactly the goal. That's actually what made me do it. So when I see people do that, it's like, this is why we started this.
Which project do you think made 63 a household name?
I don't know, man. None of them, bro. Because it's not like there was one project that particularly made us like a household brand. Not that, I don't even think we are that, but everything for us is gradual. It's never... Yeah, so people who followed since we started until today, it was just a step-by-step journey. So there is no such project that... If I was to tell you like which project made us a name brand, I'll tell you the latest project I've done. And if I tell you come tomorrow, I'll tell you again the latest. Because like it keeps getting better.
But there's something you work on and people get to ask who did this for the first time. You know, like if you do an ad and it's so new on TV and everybody's like, that's so new. Who did it?
We've done some commercials here and there, but it's not like they really blew us up there. There are some people who got some our attention on different projects. But one of the biggest projects that, at least the project we did and me I knew, like, okay, I think we are serious now, is when we did, because, we covered when CHOGM happened, we covered the business forum. So before then, I was like, Kadiro agency, we're playing, maybe I could still get a job there, keep my CV fresh, keep my portfolio clean. But when we did the CHOGM dig, I was like, okay, I can see we are here now. Because like I had everyone I admire in my face. There was a PK, there was like, what? We get to film him and edit and then put this video, and they were posting these videos on like really CHOGM channels, Visit Rwanda, RDB. So that's when I knew now we are serious. So that's when I was okay, we are here now. Yeah, that's one of the projects that made me see that we are here now. But we've also recently done a project with WBC, which is the World Boxing Council, and we did a belt. I designed a belt for the game of Usyk and Fury.
How does one get a gig like that, a project like that, working on a belt of a boxer?
Yeah, bro, that's my second belt, bro. The first belt is not out yet, bro. You thought that belt was dope? Wait and see the first one, bro. Because like the first one, I was so fresh. I was so excited to design a belt. I put everything I had in it. So by the time the second one came, I was like, this belt thing. I get bored quickly. I need the new project. So I've already done the belt. Give me something more. But I still did it nicely, So,
but were you involved in boxing, or is this someone who reached out? How did you?
So we're working with our friend Leon Salah. Shout out to Leon Salah. So Leon Salah is working with Carlos Takam Foundation. I think I mentioned him earlier, right? So Carlos Takam Foundation is connected to the WBC. Now, I've done a project before on that first belt with Carlos Takam Foundation. This belt, it's not news yet. Let me just, So we're going to see it very soon. It's going to be dope. It's going to be a bigger match than that. Everything is just... Anyways, Carlos Takam, so we did the project with Carlos Takam, but they were supposed to present it to the WBC, right? So we got in the conversation. I had to present it to the WBC. So when I presented their project, I was like, cool, finished. And then a few days later, they were like, tell that guy again to do a belt for us.
Second one.
Yeah, the second one.
Wow.
Yeah. That's that's when you need to actually let the universe. Sometimes you gotta plan, right? But sometimes you just gotta let the universe do the planning for you, bro.
Yeah.
Because in my wildest dream, even if I was hard to plan, bro,
Yeah,
there was
even-
no way I would have planned to design a
A
belt
belt.
for boxing. I wasn't even interested in boxing before. But when when you're gonna do a design for something, you have to study this
Yeah, you have to do
environment.
research.
Yo, box is one hell of a sport now, man.
Now
I love
you're
box.
a fan.
Yeah, no, it's one hell of a sport, bro. Yeah, but you gotta see those punch each other till they get knocked
Yeah.
out. That's like a big 200 kilogram.
Yeah.
Imagine a punch, and this punch is protected in foam and stuff, and he still knocks him out. Imagine that punch if he caught you, bro.
I would
Never
die.
wake up, man.
I would die.
Never wake
So-
up. So these guys, they connect to the WBC and we designed this belt. And then when I was on that stage, like I was meeting guys, I was meeting a lot of important people. We met some people like some princesses or like Saudi princesses. We met guys from Real Madrid. We met a bunch of like really important guys. So each time you tell them, me, I designed that belt. The impression you would see on their face would really also confront me like, okay,
We're here.
it's about that time now. We on the global market now.
Yeah.
We need to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they were like, okay. So these guys, soon as we say we did the belt, when you're like in a group of like important people, so there is something about important people, man. They are so fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're a group of important people and they don't know you and they see you maybe with like, because I was around Carlos Takam, right?
Yeah.
And they see you around this guy. So they mostly tend to talk to this guy more than you because
Yeah.
obviously,
They don't
man,
know you.
yeah, they don't know you. As soon as you get a little bit of attention and you start by, I made that belt. That's a corny introduction for a like me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm more than the belt niggas who know me, bro.
Yeah.
But in this situation, niggas only respect this belt.
Yeah.
So that was my introduction. You seen that belt? I made that belt.
And it
they were
worked.
like, oh wow, really? What do you do? I just told you, I made that belt. And then
And this is something you don't shy off. Like
yeah.
you don't.
No, me. No, I did it though.
There's no lie.
It's not like
Yeah.
So you get the attention, man. You get the attention. So when you see who've been involved on like bigger platforms like this, be attentive to something you did, and they give you a positive feedback, what they think about it. It's also a reminder that we are here.
We are here.
No, but it was just for a short time. Now I wanna be there for real.
Yeah.
Wanna be on that stage for real. So now we're working with the Carlos Takam Foundation on different projects, and I'm trying to go in boxing too, not as a boxer,
Yeah.
but involved business. I want to sponsor where there is a boxing player, Chris Mafao from Switzerland. He was playing recently here in Kigali Universe. Bro, he's a tough guy, man. Show you, bro. This guy will punch you to heaven, bro. Yeah, so I'm trying to go in boxing. He's talking with Leo, so eventually I'll talk to Leo about getting involved, Because boxing, there's a lot of money in boxing. The game we are at, the Usyk and Fury game, the card, the full case was 120 million. And Fury, because he had the bigger brand, was supposedly to take like 70 to 80 million. And then Usyk would take like 30. And then the rest of the 10 million, that's what goes to the organizer and the promoters.
Oh, wow. The players take that much.
Yeah, the players take that much. But that's not only the player. For example, if Fury took that much, he's going to give like probably like 30 to 50 to team and management. But that's where we want to be, bro. 35,
you want to be the management.
Yeah, well, even 1% of that 80 is enough for me. I'm like, Alhamdulillah. I'm out of here, bro. So I'm trying to go in boxing too for business reasons.
Yeah. So now there's this thing that you started working alone. It's you on your computer, doing your thing, doing your graphic design.
Yeah.
And now you're working with other people.
Yeah.
What did it take for you to accommodate other people?
That's what I was saying, bro. I'm still learning, you know. Accommodating other people and being a comfortable person to be around is different, right? Because if you need somebody, like if I need your service, I can easily accommodate you, right?
Yeah.
Because I need that particular service.
Yeah.
But that's not the goal.
Yeah.
The goal is to make sure that everyone who walks around you is actually comfortable. They want to work there. You want to be like a higher, what do you say, employer of choice.
Yeah.
I hate to.
Employer.
Yeah, that sounds so corporate, you know. You want to
Yes,
make
boss.
sure. Yeah.
Employer of the month.
Yeah, you want to be. You want to be a company where people want to work. You want to be a leader that people want to follow in comfort, not in hardship and stuff, or just because only you can pay. So that's what I aim to be. But then, like I say, I'm young. I make some mistakes around the way. So I'm learning. And I think I'm doing better than I was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And people are, you're with people. You have accommodated people. On that belt, there is a lot of collaboration.
Yeah. I know accommodation is easy because if I need someone to help me with something, I can easily accommodate them. But I'm not so sure that they are really excited to be accommodated there like that. So I'm working.
What makes you feel like that? You feel like you're self-conscious.
Yeah, I'm not a good person to work for, man. Sometimes I get too angry, I get too nervous, or I stress them a lot.
Yeah.
But that's just because I'm also learning how to make a team move.
Well.
Yeah.
It's nice that you're aware of that and you actually recognize that.
Yeah, and I'm working toward it, bro.
Yes, and you're working on it.
I'm doing my best. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
But now, are you happy with your team? Tell me about your team.
Man, I'm so proud of everyone we work with. I work with like super brilliant people, man. I work with super brilliant people. There's ladies at the office who are like super docile. Like when the client is, they just know how to. And then there's of course Malik who does all the business things and he handles it. Have the whole company on his back. And then when it comes to like the creative team, bro, like super creative nigga, bro. So I don't even do a lot of work, bro. I take a lot of credit for the work that gets done at the company, but I barely do anything, man. There's guys who like following up with all the graphics. There's guys who are following up with all the drawings. There's guys who are following up with all the videos, all the 3D. Me, I'm just there harassing them. When is the video gonna be on? And I'm like, they'll do it for like 3 days. I'm like, I don't even like this.
Oh man! So now
they're really good, great team, and hopefully we're looking to expand and actually accommodate interns.
Yeah.
Have like probably like 6 to 7 interns.
Yeah.
Who can come and just learn from these guys.
Yeah.
Because these are really brilliant guys, bro. There's guys at the company who are like 20. There's this kid, he's like 20, bro. He's 20. He was like 21, bro. This kid, if you see him moving, bro, he's very slow. So you'd think he wouldn't really achieve nothing. Like move slowly, chill guy, bro. But when you see the kind of, he's a photographer. When you can even tell him, go to her and take photos. You go to her slowly and bring you photos. Real nice photos, bro. Real nice photos. And you don't complain about nothing.
How do you find
your people? He'll just give you a story one time. That's like it's easy. That's like I'm giving you like a random story. You know, bro, I've been to her the other day, man.
Yeah, and I took pictures.
And I took pictures. Like, what? They did that to you? That's what they did to you. You should have told me. And I get angry. Imagine getting angry like 3 weeks later.
It's too late.
Yeah, it's
like too late. I dealt with it.
He's like, yeah, man, we went, bro. One day they went to take pictures. This client didn't really accommodate him well. They didn't treat him as a VIP, bro. So they went to take some pictures in which district in the east? Very far, but like that was like 3 hours on a bike, bro. He went there on a bike and came back with gear. And then he told me about it like 2 weeks later. Like, that happened to you, bro?
So how do you find people? How do you find teammates?
Yeah,
colleagues?
So again, I have real great teammates, and I've made sure that they understand the company DNA. Like from the start, Like the people we are with from the start. There's those who've left, of course, they never miss. But there are like few people I'm with that I've been with since the beginning. So when somebody learn the company ethos and they have the company DNA, it's easy for them because I can trust them. So if he's a videographer, I'm like, bro, we're gonna soon need another videographer. Do you know any of your boys who can fit in? I'm like, I know a guy, but he's not. I know a guy, and then eventually they bring their friends around who also become part of the team. So everybody comes and they bring somebody and they bring somebody. Me, I just make sure that, because like not everybody who comes stays, of course, right?
Yes.
So I just make sure that I vet that the people who really, because like not everybody can actually grab your company DNA.
Yeah.
I've realized that not everybody can.
Yeah, some people get it, some other people
Some
don't
people get
it.
it and some people don't get it. And not because they're not smart or no, just because this DNA does not align with who they are. For example, the way we work there is no work hours. There's no work hours. I can probably call guys right now. Let's go shoot something here. I'm like, Hefe, okay, trash. Hey, straight up. They'll come, you can see, just walk up, you can see this one's probably on his second beer, dizzy, and you can, but they attend. So
That's good. It's good to have people who value what you're working on and show up.
Yeah, bro. So when you're working with those people, it makes everything easier. So when they bring other people, they'll make them understand that this is what we do.
This is how it goes.
Because you see we are doing it.
Yeah.
If you don't do this, then
yeah.
Because this is how we do. Because bro, we have times where we are working full time, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday again, like full time.
No rest.
Yeah, like recently, bro, we was so busy, man. Like 2 weeks ago, it was lit. Everybody was in the studio on a good Sunday, bro. Everybody. House food, like it's Monday, bro. Full lunch, like it's Monday.
What tip would you give to someone who wants to work with creatives? Because, creatives understand creatives, but someone on the other side, it's hard for them to understand creatives. What tip would you give them?
I don't know, man. So, not only creatives, but one thing about working with people, which is also something again, not the best person to work with people, but something I've seen that works better is if you're working with a person, right, and you trust, you're like, okay, you are the sound guy. You need to really trust the sound guy and let him do the sound. For example, that's why I always start by saying that I'm a graphic designer. Is also to remind people, I don't do animation, but I have a good animation guy and animation team. So we just sit together and talk about which good animation we're going to make, and they do it, and it's out. So we've made a nice animation together. So you need to let people you've hired or people you're going to work with, you need to let them do what they're here to do. And that's something I've learned with my team. When you are there, like when you want to control them, like tell them what to do, they will let you tell them what to do every little second.
Yeah.
But when you step back and actually put them on the position where they can make decision, they make the best decision you couldn't even tell them to do. Because they are also smart people.
Yeah.
They are also guided people. They are also creative people. So it's as much as you would make that decision, that's how they also make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even because like we are on a set or in a music video shoot or anything, I'm bound to trust the young kid on the fashion advice stand. I can be telling, hey, look, but I have this guy who's doing the fashion, and like if he comes and tell me that shirt look crooked, that's because he does, because that's what he does.
Yes, trust people to do what
if
they
do. If the makeup artist on set says he's sweating, me, I can't see it because my face is always sweating anyways. So like, no. So let the makeup girl do the makeup or the makeup guy do the makeup. Let everyone do what you call them to do, right? Because when you try to be like a remote, because people are not cars. A car, you'll turn around and then you turn. You have to do everything so that or a remote, you have to change.
Yeah.
So people in general, they are not remote. So you need to let people take the decision. And I've realized that when you actually empower people enough to take decision, they make the best decision. You just have to be there to control maybe if there's like an accident, because like some youngins be just learning, others have never been in such a situation. So if there is a crash, maybe that's where you need to be, or you need people who on the business side can balance what happened, you know. But anybody, not only to work with creative, anybody who want to work with anybody, just let people do what you hired them or called them to do.
Yeah. Now, finding a unique voice as a creative can be challenging. What advice would you give to a creative who's trying to find their voice and also make an impact?
Again, man, I'm so repetitive, but people have to be self-aware, man, because there is no way you can ask Bushari to sing like Celine Dion. You know, that's really impossible. No matter how he can read about music, he must know that his chords are not that straight or not that high. Also, you can't also ask Celine Dion to probably rap or back up a song like Bush does, right? Because her chords or her voice is also not set like that. So everybody have to study themselves and understand where they are strong. So it comes again to self-awareness, right? So you need to study and know this is where I'm strong. Like, this is my contribution. This is who I am. This is what I can do. And then find in the economy where you fit. Because like we were saying, this is a very big country and there is a lot of opportunities for all of us. So everyone has a client. You just have to find where they need that particular touch. Because like in the creative agency world, there are some communications that requires like graphics and animations and stuff. And you also do create communications that only need like pictures, documentaries, like cinematic, not overcomplicated 3Ds. And there's also some comms that only requires 3D. And there's also comms that work with music, like road shows and stuff. So everybody needs to find where they fit in with who they are in the system. And that's how you bring in your voice. Because like, if you come and you try to be me, then they would rather come to me because I'm also around. They would rather get to the original. They would rather go to the original copy. If you try to sing like Bush, they easily call Bush. So you are just a marketing. They're like a flyer for Bush, like fake Bush. We need real Bush.
We need real Bush.
So you need to know who you are and then find your role in the system.
What contribution do you hope to give to the industry, the creative industry in Rwanda?
Oh no, man. I just hope I can put artists in a position, or I can put the creatives in a position where they can understand the power they have, right? I want them to understand the power they have on the economy and how they can change their lives with that power, with the creative power. I want to I would like to leave a message by the time I'm gone that, especially for Rwandan creatives, because like, you know, everybody else in the world, they knows. But on the land here, I want like all the creatives, by the time I'm going to have empowered a bunch of creatives to understand the value they bring of their product. Like if it's a fashion artist or a painter or whoever, I just want to see them financially empowered as much as their skill, you know. Not trying to see every damn can sing rich or on a big stage. But you know, we have a lot of untapped talent in all sectors of creativity. So I would like to see some money in our creative economy. So I would like to be one of the guys who brings some money in our creative economy, make it an actual economy, bro. Where we have like people who've actually gotten rich off of it. That's why I admire people like Coach Gael, bro, because he's like putting so much money in this creative economy that he never gets back. Well, maybe he does. What do I know about the books? But that's so much money he's injecting, bro. So much money he's injecting. So I want to play a role like that, you know.
How would you how do I think we talked about it a bit, but I want you to elaborate on that a bit. How do creatives make money?
How do creatives make money? So it depends. It's different, right? It's different for all the sectors, but one of the key thing is to identify where you fit, right? So if you are a set designer, and then you understand that here in Rwanda, the set design business is not really booming like that because the videos are not expensive like that. So you need to think how to push your set design into stage design, because here in Rwanda now the economy is based on event. So if you are a good stage designer, then you're gonna be designing all the stages.
Yeah.
So everybody has to find his role, because like we have a booming economy, bro. Like we were saying, all the agents moving around. You can see things growing, buildings. You see all these guys with really fancy cars, Range Rovers moving around. That's because the economy is booming. So everybody has to find the economic value about their craft. What makes people buy music? What makes people buy a painting? What makes people buy everything? You need to study what really makes people buy. Like if you are making hats, shoes, whatever you make, you need to understand what make people buy it. And I think that's the only way to monetize your craft.
Yeah. So thank you so much for making time and coming all the way for this podcast and for sharing your insights. It's a long one, and I hope everybody who's listening is really enjoying to hear a different perspective. Now, I always leave this time for guests to share what they want to share, a message they have, take your time to think about something. Yeah.
So shout out to all the creative in the country one time. Shout out to everyone who's doing everything they can to make sure this economy is going up. Shout out to the government for fixing policies and placing us in position that allow us to actually strive and actually connect and do bigger stuff. Shout out to you for documenting this, because this is like another book in the library of like Rwandan creative knowledge.
Yeah.
Whether important or not, but it's just gonna be there and it's documented forever. Thanks for everyone who's playing an important role in this creative economy. One more time again, I can mention a few names, but people know what they are doing. Shout out to people who are really inspiring the generation right now. Shout out Coach Gael. Shout out Malik Shafi. Shout out a bunch of people, bro. Shout out Bruce Melody. Shout out Dida. Bro, you gotta get Dida on the pod, bro.
Dida, I hope you're listening.
Bro, you gotta get Dida on the pod. Dida has done so much for the creative
economy. Yes, I know.
Like, she's the most important person in the creative economy.
I know.
Like, what the fuck?
I talked to her.
We never see her anywhere, man.
I sent her a message. I hope that
shout out Dida.
She shows up and we talk about it.
Yeah, shout out Sherry Silva, man. Sherry Silva is doing some stuff for those kids, bro. That's dope. That's dope. Shout out Sherry Silva. I don't know, some controversy, but she's still dope to me. Shout out Sherry Silva one more time. Shout out The Ben. Shout out The Ben, man. Me, I'm a big fan of The Ben. I like his confidence. But he's a big name. He's a big name in our creative economy. Shout out The Ben. Shout out LA. Shout out Chico Berry. Shout out Mude, bro.
Mude, man.
Yeah, shout out Mude, bro. You gotta get him on the pod too.
Yeah. Mude, when you come back to the country, let's do it.
Yeah. Who else, bro? Can I leave a bunch of behind? Shout out Sane, bro. Shout out Nando. Nando is always getting shout outs, bro. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy.
And shout out to everybody who's listening, who has made it all the way to the last minute.
And they're still listening to me making that shout outs, bro. Hey, last and not least, bro. Shout out to me, bro. Shout out to me, bro. I'm the G. If you already know, you're smart enough to know. If you don't know, then educate yourself, bro.
That's it. Bro, thank you so much for making it. Thank you so much for what you're doing for the industry, for everybody that you're helping, for the minds that you're pushing with your crazy ideas and actually making it and putting it on billboards on the street, making Kigali look dope and cool with your designs.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah, bro.
thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you for
night.
having me, bro.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Cheers,
Bro. It was
cheers.
fun for real.
Yeah.